understanding of what they've done.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and all members of the Education Committee. For the record, I am Ralph Bohm, Hillsborough District 20, Town of Litchfield. And in your pink books, it's 193A10, which covers this. And just some history. In 2010, there were some bills put in by some to put more stringent rules on home education. It was estimated that about 600 people came to Reps Hall to express their opinions, probably some of them are here, and probably 590 against the bills. The bills, however, still passed the Education Committee. I was in the minority, but the bills failed on the floor. But the then chair of the Education Committee secretly sent a letter from the committee with some other committee members to ask the state board to pass rules based on the bill that failed. This hit the fan when we found out, as no vote was taken by the Education Committee to write this letter. However, the rules were not made because HEAC widely objected. It should be noted, it was brought out that none of the recommendations in the aforementioned bills had come from HEAC. The following year, because of what happened, multiple bills were put in to protect home ed. As vice chair of this Education Committee, I chaired a subcommittee on these 3 bills which were retained. One of the bills had the removal of HEAC. When this was brought up on my subcommittee, we immediately got heated objection from home ed parents stating that HEAC was their only protection against the DOE. HEAC is made up of 12 members, 6 homeschool people, and 6 administration. There were also 2 reps and 1 senator. We kept one bill, which was HB 545, and amended it to remove the 2 reps and senator from being voting members. This would take away the politics. 3 could make the count 9-6. There were other changes in HB 545, including putting in law that school districts cannot make any rules or policies on home ed that was not in the home ed RSA. For example, some school districts tried to say that home school students were subject to attendance and truancy laws. Also, parents only have to notify the school district once, not every year. It should be noted that during these 2 years, I was on HEAC and the HEAC approved these changes. Also, there was one other section in HB 545 that said HEAC was the final arbiter on any bills, any rules coming from the state board. Unfortunately, the Senate removed that piece, so maybe that's something we could do. One of the concerns raised is that HEAC does not represent all homeschool groups. Then I would suggest amending the law to state which groups would be represented and how they are appointed. There are 6 members from homeschool groups, but then I've heard that some do not want to be represented. You can't please all. But HEAC is there to protect those who want to be involved. Those that want to take advantage of their public schools after school activities or even take high school subjects. In these cases, some rules are needed. Also, they seem to be concerned about transparency. The HEAC meetings are public. Anyone can record them, just like people come here and record our hearings. If there's a problem with minutes not being available sooner, then maybe the HEAC can fix that. Another issue is that people are not allowed to speak at the HEAC meetings. It should be noted that these are meetings and not hearing. Again, this can be taken care of by being on their agenda, or maybe HEAC can develop their own policy and they're similar to school boards or selectmen meetings, have some time for public to speak. It's not a reason to do away with HEAC. If we have problems with HEAC, let's fix them and not do away with this needed organization. I find it troubling with all the concerns with the DOE. We have an organization that is set up to monitor the DOE and protect a group of parents, and we have people wanting to do away with this watchdog group. The Home Legal Defense Association has always been against HEAC, and over years I've had some homeschool parents state they want the protection given by HEAC and not have to pay member dues to the HSLDA for representation. They believe that HEAC protects them for free. And this is confusing to me. There has been no legislation proposed by HEAC since my bill in 2012, so what is the problem? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Representative. And I think there are a number of us on this committee that recall all that you've mentioned. Are there any questions? Yes, Representative Grenier.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and it's a short and sweet one. If we do not have DOE to write the rules for statutes we pass, then how is this gonna work? Referring to the fact they wanna take DOE out of the process altogether, who is gonna take the statute and make the rules? How can that function?
Right, it's not going to. We need, right now, the state board creates rules based on statutes that exist or will exist. And the HEAC, when I was on it, they gave good feedback, and the state board pretty much, even though they were the final arbiter, even though I wanted HEAC to be the final, they didn't do anything that HEAC was against.
Thank you.
And for clarification, within statute, we, the legislature, give 541A authority to the group like DOE to set these rules, and they have to come before JELCAR. JELCAR looks at those rules to ensure that they follow the intent and the letter of the law. Further questions? Thank you, Representative Bowen.
Thank you.